welcome to Season 4 of Skillcast, the podcast by the London Organisation of Skills Development. My name is Nurbanu and I'm your host. I couldn't be more excited to embark on this new season with you. In Season 4, we're pushing boundaries and exploring the forefront of skills development. We'll discuss emerging trends, innovative practices, and the evolving landscape of professional growth. Our lineup features thought leaders, industry pioneers, and change makers who are redefining what's possible. Whether you're aiming to future-proof your career, ignite your passion, or simply enjoy insightful conversations, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome!
Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful invitation, and it's such an honor.
You look super glam, by the way. This is like the third time I'm meeting you, actually. No, fourth. And every time I see you, you're wearing very, very fashionable outfits. Are you a fashion designer, a model? I've already seen you from distance. We've never really talked about fashion before. Enlighten me.
So I am a fashion designer. I studied fashion and design actually during my college period, and it was always a dream for me for having my own brand. And I actually did succeed in creating my own brand, and I always wanted to bring out something different. So I brought out a versatile brand, a brand that has pieces that you can wear to different types of occasions. So especially when you were traveling, because it was a resort wear, so you can have like only 4 or 5 outfits if you're going out for a week on holiday, and you can, change these 4 outfits, just changing your pants or your sweater or your top. So to make it more sustainable and versatile.
Amazing. So early holiday wear then?
So it's resort wear. So usually when you are going to warmer countries or cities during springtime or summer times. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's like an excuse for you to just keep getting away.
That's for sure, because I love traveling.
How many countries have you been to?
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Traveling actually is for me something that I always craved for, because I feel like when I'm traveling, I'm actually learning and also getting a lot of knowledge, because even think about the word traveling, the matter of fact that you have to look for a destination, pack your suitcase, go to the airport, be stress resistant, getting that plane, coming to a new country, smelling, the different kind of food and the heat, that already transforms you. So actually that's the part that I love about traveling, the transformational part that you get when you, visit or enter a new country.
What about your outfit packing now?
My outfit packing,
Do you pack for the countries? So, like some countries like Dubai, for example, they wear abayas, very modest kinds of outfits. Do you pack according to those countries? Do you buy clothes from there? What do you do?
So first of all, I'm very, very bad at packing. Mm-hmm. And I hear this a lot, especially from women. I always overpack, so I'm still dealing with that. But usually when I go to a country, of course, I look at the country and, more the culture of the country, and I do pack accordingly. Like when I go to Dubai, I always try to bring something that is with long sleeves or longer than maybe that I normally would wear when I go to the Caribbean. Regarding bathing suit, I always make sure that it's a bathing suit and not a bikini. So I do consider the culture and the rules of the country when I'm packing and when I'm traveling to, different types of destinations.
Are you one of those people that has to buy clothes when you're out in a different country?
Not always.
Or you really like, no, I've got my clothes. I'm gonna take from my little kitty, even in my case.
So people always think because I am a fashion designer and I was creating my own line and brands that I love shopping. But actually, I hate shopping. I'm the person that wants to, when I know my brand, I will order it online or just go to the shop and buy like everything in once. Because I hate going to shops and, looking for clothes and the whole, I don't know, I just don't like shopping. I don't know, maybe that's not what you would expect from me. So So, and usually when I travel, I want to experience the country and the food. I'm really a foodie, so my attention and my time usually goes to doing different activities and really learning about the culture than shopping. So usually I already have all the things that I need, or I have to come across something that is very special and will remind me of that country or a moment, and then I would actually buy it. But I don't like shopping when I'm traveling.
Interesting. To be honest, I don't like shopping at all, full stop. I get really overwhelmed by like the different colors and the different fabrics. So I always just online shop, buy a few things, pick what I like, and then I keep that. That's basically my kind of strategy.
Yeah.
But that sounds really cool. But so you mentioned you like to go out to different places, like understanding the culture and things. Do you prepare different outfits for those particular excursions, for those particular restaurants?
Not really. I think when I was younger, I was more conscious about it and about my body and the way I felt, like the insecurity. So maybe I brought much more thought into that when I was younger. But nowadays, I just go with the flow and how I feel. And I don't really care if I go outside with or without makeup. It's just maybe, how I feel. And depending also on the weather, if I'm in a country where it's very hot, I hardly wear any makeup. I wear light clothing. So it's not that I really bring a lot of thought to it. It's more about how does it make me feel, and I want to be comfortable and I want to be myself.
How did you get to that phase?
How did I get to that phase? Well, that was really a big transformation, not only regarding clothing, but regarding my internal self and now how I transformed my own mindset and how I transformed the way that I thought about myself and now how I transformed the way that I thought that other people's opinion matters. So when I actually changed that, that's where, everything else changed and I became me and embrace who I am and what I like.
To get to that kind of space, you kind of need this really good support system and people that just accept you for who you are. Because for a girl to walk out with makeup, like even myself, like I don't have the worst skin in the world, but still I feel like I need to go out with just a little bit. I just feel I need to cover up basically in that sense in terms of makeup wise. Yeah. But you mentioned that you can walk out without makeup and you feel so confident and you feel happy with yourself. Who do you have? Is it because of someone's support that you got, or is it just a mentality that you built yourself?
It's both. I definitely feel like as a young adult, especially in the time that I became a mother, I had a lot of support from my community, and that was very important. So I feel like community is important. It's important to see certain type of people or mentors or coaches who reflect strength and how do you say it, comfort, and who can show you that it's okay to be yourself. So I feel like it's very important to have this reflection in the society and in the people around you. But it's also a part of building your own mindset and also part of taking the time to learn about yourself, because most of the time we don't do that. We go to school, we go to the university, we go to college, and we learn a lot, from our mentors as well. But do we really take the time to learn about ourselves and what our deepest wishes are and what really makes us happy? And I really, after my children got to a certain age, I took the time off to really take the time to develop myself. And with that developing, a lot of strength and then a lot of positive energy and a lot of good came out of it. Yeah.
Did it have a knock-on effect on your close relationships that you had and your friends and your
Yes, family? For sure.
Did you feel you lost friendships as well because of this new mindset, this new ideas that you had?
Yes, for sure, because people are used to seeing you in a way that suits them. So the moment you decide to change and to be yourself or to act in a way that's, suiting for yourself and good for yourself, people close to you, even family members, they can change because it scares them. They're like, why is she changing? Why is she different? Why is she now suddenly having boundaries? Before I could say anything to her, before I could reach out to her whenever I want. And she was the yes, sir lady, and she will come out. And now she's saying no. Now she's saying, I don't have time. Now she's saying, I'm not going out anymore. Now she's saying, I stopped drinking. What's going on with her? She's crazy. And then people started distancing them from me. But that's also the point, that you have to realize that if people are in your life and they are not supporting your growth and your change, then let them go. They don't need to be there anyways, because they are not doing anything for you, then keeping you down and low. So it suits them. And it's not a judgment. And actually, you have to create also certain kind of compassion for them, because they are still in the place that they feel like they need to be anything for the outside world, aside from themselves. So for me, it's when I got that realization, it was easy for me to withdraw myself and say, well, it's okay. It is what it is. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. We are just in this place that we don't align anymore with each other. And yeah, let's, go our own ways.
And when you let go of those people, you create space for the right people in your life.
Exactly. And that is exactly what happened. And I got and it's really also about letting go of the fear from, if I let go of those people, I will be alone. And it's actually good to be alone. And when you take the time to be alone, and when you set this new intention, what you actually want and what you are looking for in relationship, could be even with your husband, with your children, with your friends, with your colleagues, whatever, those right people will get drawn to you and they will come into your life. And I'm speaking from experience, because after I said no to all of those, people that were not suiting me, I said a big yes, and I got a lot of nice people and a whole new different community and support. Yeah.
Amazing. So when you went through this whole transition and learning more about yourself, were you in a relationship? Were you married at that time?
Yes.
So how did because it's the closest people, how did they take this whole transformation? Because obviously they saw you at one point at your life. You got married in a certain way, you behaved in this, and now you've grown and transformed to this amazing human being. But obviously for them, was that growth too quick? How were they able to adapt?
So the growth came with a lot of challenges, because before I realized that I was actually bleeding on the people that I love, because I was not recognizing my own traumas. I was not dealing with my own BS, as I'm saying it. And I was actually blaming the whole world. Instead of looking to myself, I was bleeding on my husband with my insecurity. So I will get mad at him for nothing. I was very snappy at my children, or I would do things, with my family and friends and say yes, but then come home and feeling very down, like, why did I actually go to this event? So when I started transforming, the people that really support me and love me, they were actually very happy for me. And they started changing as well, because they started seeing me, being more relaxed, being more calm, having the time and patience to really listen to them as well. And also even my children said, wow, Mom, you inspired me so much. Actually, I'm going to therapy. Now, can you give me the number of your therapist? Because I love the way, you transformed, and I'm dealing with something in my mind, and I don't know how to, compound that. So I need somebody to talk to. And when they saw that it was okay to ask for help, they actually did it as well. So it got a very, not for everybody, because I lost a lot of people, but the people that really mattered and that really loved me, they stick by me and actually saw the change as something inspiring for them to do as well.
Yeah, sometimes it's okay to not be okay, but I really feel that you really normalize therapy, because it's completely normal.
It is.
And it helps you work through things that you've been through in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back a little bit to your younghood and your childhood. What type of family did you come from?
So I grew up with the first, the first line of immigrants from Ghana, West Africa, that came from Ghana to Europe, to the Netherlands, to create a better life for their family. That was my mother and my father. I grew up in a household with 5 sisters and 1 brother. And they had it hard because they were immigrants. not speaking the language, maybe difficult to find a job, having very good education in your own country, but coming here and you need to go work as a cleaner in a 5-star hotel. So also, can you imagine this diminish your whole self-worth and everything because you feel like I can do so much more, but I'm in this new country and I just have to deal with it and adapt because I want a better future for my children. Our household was very hectic because I felt like my mother and father struggled very hard, to provide for us, but they struggled very hard also to hide from us that they were struggling. And because they didn't have the knowledge yet, but also they didn't saw where they could reach out for help, they started, go on each other. So there was a lot of fighting, alcohol abuse, like not a really nice environment for young children to grow up, what eventually led into them separating and my mother only raising us, going on with 5 children.
Wow, so I can see where this whole trauma had come from. Because first, even before then, because you get generational trauma as well.
Yes.
So when a child is born, they have that trauma, and then the trauma that they are brought up with. Because sometimes children don't realize they react and they lash out in different ways. So growing up, you might have thought like, yeah, I'm completely fine, I'm completely normal, there's nothing wrong, like I'm ignoring everything, I'm my own person.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't realize, like subconsciously, you're taking in these traits, some of these challenges, some of these like the breakup, the fighting, and all of that stuff that was going on. So it may have perhaps, you were saying you're a bit snappy to your children, and that relationship with your husband at the time was a bit distant, it wasn't really you're not to blame. It's just it's something that you didn't personally realize. It was just naturally innate in you. And it's really beautiful that you went on this journey to find yourself within, and you're not those people, you are your own person. You went on that journey, you transformed, and you created this beautiful, loving relationship, and you came closer to your loved ones. But what I find really beautiful is in all of this is that you're with the same husband and he stayed with you through that entire journey. Like how did you meet that kind of person? Because divorce is just like, it's like snapping
it's your very easy.
It's very, very common.
It's very common.
When they see someone change, or because obviously when you meet someone, you're like on this loving honeymoon phase. Of
course, you are blinded for most of the part.
And then when you get married, it's like they see your true colors, you see their true colors, and of course, the other half could be like, okay, this woman is crazy. Like, but the fact that he stayed with you, stuck with you, watched you grow and become this beautiful rose flower that blossomed, it's really loving. Like, how do you attract someone like that? What was it like? What did you do different?
I think because on the baseline we have a lot of similarities, and even though we come from different families, the structure of the family is the same. So we actually went to similar challenges growing up, only in a different form. And I actually didn't knew that about my husband, and he didn't knew that about me, because when we met as this two person. I was a young adult, he was a little bit older. So he was, also young adult, but older. But we came into each other's life at that point of our life, actually not knowing that we are still carrying our traumas with us in the relationship. So it doesn't make it easier. But then you get children and another one and another one. And what happened actually, you get into this survival mode that you're both just trying to survive to get to the other day, because you have businesses, you have a family to support. So you don't take the time to really look after yourself. And the turning point for me actually came because my mother was struggling with mental health right before she passed. So I was always afraid to become that person, So there was something always, that fear in me, like, oh my God, I knew that I was struggling, but I was hiding it. But also with hiding that, I was so afraid that if I don't open up soon, I will become that person, because I saw that happen to my mother. And I didn't want to be that person because I saw what it did to her. And I didn't want to end up like that. And not that I'm giving any judgment to that, because I know that she did her best with the tools that she had. And so when I came to that point, the only thing for me to do was to be honest, and honesty helps. And when you are honest, when you say to your husband or to your wife, listen, I'm struggling. I have it really hard at this moment, and I need you to bear with me, and I need you to understand what I'm going through. And, when you have somebody that loves you for who you are, the good and the bad, that's what we say, they will give you the time to discover yourself. But most of the time, what we don't do is we are not honest. We just get snappy and angry, and we start blaming the other person for our own insecurities. So we are like, oh, but because of you, I'm not feeling well. Why didn't you bring me coffee? And we start picking on the other person, making everything what they do, the fault in our life. But when you don't own up to your own BS, again, sorry for using that word, but it has to be loud and clear for your own, for your own traumas and for the own things that you create. You have to own up to it, and you have to be honest enough to share it with your partner. And when you are honest, most of the time they will give you the space, to deal with it. And then, you come back together as a stronger person. But my husband went through his own journey as well. And I needed to step back as well as a wife. Like, it's not about me at this time, it's about him. And I need to give him the space to go through this and support him.
Yeah, it's basically taking it turns. And two people can't be struggling at the same time.
Exactly.
You can,
you
but
can,
one person can elevate, one person go down. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Just like on a final note, this is just being super curious even.
Yeah.
Did you go into fashion as a cover-up in terms of everything that you've been through, like helping without, subconsciously thinking it will make you your own person, make you more confident, and kind of show you your... Is that why you went into fashion, or is there something deeper?
You were actually the first one that asked this question, and I think it's such a profound question because it's actually true. I feel like everybody in the beginning of the career, most of the time, your intentions are not very pure yet. And when I went into fashion, I had a dream because I didn't came from money. I came from a struggling background, and I wanted to provide for my family and my sisters. So I had this dream to becoming this big fashion designer that can buy houses for, all of my sisters, and we will have this magical life, and, all of our troubles will fade away, and the passing of my mother will become much softer for everybody to bear. But that was not the right intention, because having those intentions put a lot of heavy weight on me. And that's why I couldn't succeed, in fashion the way I wanted to succeed. And that's why it was not intentional, but it was just something to give me the tools to earn money. And that's why I also stopped, even if I was successful, because even if your intention not right, you can still have that fuel, because the fuel is something else. The fuel is to provide for your family, or the fuel is to be successful or to prove yourself. So that can be a good fuel to achieve something, but it will never make you happy. And when I realized that, I also felt like, doesn't matter where I've been with my brand, I need to let it go.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful way to finish. I'd love to chat with you more and learn so much more from you. You're so inspiring, so enlightening, and always smiling. I love it. So just keep smiling.
Thank you so much.